All right, what's going on? This is Talking Giants, Bob Skinner. Saquon Barkley signs the New York Giants. I'm actually doing this at the Orlando International Airport, so if you see me looking to the side, that's why. On my way to training camp in Newark. So, wake up this morning, Giants recording the Mike Garafolo, sign a 1 year, up to $11 million contract with a $2 million signing bonus for Saquon Barkley. The day that the Giants veterans are reporting the camp, and I want to hit this from a few different levels, and we'll record a podcast later. We always knew Saquon Barkley was showing up to camp. Now, I thought that he would threaten to miss and make it as uncomfortable as possible for the Giants to stop them from franchise tagging him next year. But we always knew he was going to play games. One, Saquon Barkley actually cares about being a good teammate, and you see it in this contract, and we'll talk about no clause for a franchise tag next year. He actually cares about being a good teammate, and he understands. He is a brand. He cares a lot about his self-image. He's very careful with everything he says because of that, which was surprising. That podcast he went on last week where he's like, man, you know people are going to take some of this stuff out of context. But so he didn't want to go through 30 days of being slandered or 6 weeks of being slandered by Giants fans. That was going to happen. Wouldn't have been fair, but it was going to happen. So they strike this deal, 1 year, $11 million deal. Even though they passed the tag deadline, you could do a 1 year deal. And when I saw this contract, the first thing that went to my head is, oh, they put a clause in there that they cannot franchise tag him next offseason, which is like, hey, we get you in the camp. We don't have to deal with that distraction and a million Saquon Barkley questions. You're not having to miss camp and not be a part of the team that you love. We get you here. We value you, and you get to hit the open market next year. But I can't believe they didn't put that clause in there. Like, I cannot believe Saquon Barkley's side did not demand that clause in there. Because he's only making up to $11 million, which is $0.9 million more than the franchise tag. Which, hey, that's real money, but it's also some incentive-based stuff in there. I don't know what the incentives are right now. So I'm shocked that his side was not able to put that clause in there, that he doesn't get franchise tag next offseason, because he's not missing out on any money. All he's missing out on is some self-image stuff that people would get over if he shows up to the games and plays well. Like, everyone would get over that quickly. Even though it'd be uncomfortable for the next 6 weeks of Giants training camp. So just shocked that they didn't have that in there. But I don't know how Joe Schoen pulled that off. I really don't know how Joe Schoen pulled that off. So, but hey, Saquon Barkley is a very important piece for the New York Giants, right? Like we talked about last season and what he meant to the team and what a lot of guys meant to the team, but specifically him. And the Giants are going to try and win games this year, and he's a vital part of that. Now, is this the last year of Saquon Barkley on the team? Because we've shown that, hey, they don't really they're not really motivated to give him a long-term contract. So maybe there's some verbal agreement like, hey, we're going to let you hit the market and we'll see what you get next year. But hey, no media distractions, no a million questions. We'll deal with the questions the first couple of days talking about it. And Saquon Barkley is going to be a little ticked off, and he should be. But good move for the New York Giants. Good day to be a New York Giants fan. I was already excited for camp. The camp vibes are going to be perfect. So make sure to come out and say hello to us. Yeah, man, Saquon Barkley staying with the New York Giants. So we'll try and do a podcast live later, but I want to get this video out from the Orlando airport. Let's go Big Blue.